Hey everyone, it's Brandy and welcome back to my channel, Brandy Janae's Bookshelf. Today I'm going to be going over the 12 top books that I want to get read in 2021. This is going to be a little kind of chaotic, only because I think about half of the books I don't actually have with me currently. Like I've been mentioning in several videos now, a lot of my books are currently in storage, and I'm hoping that within the next couple months we can get that stuff out of storage so that I can have all of my physical books again with me. But in the meantime, I'm just going to do the best that I can, and I know that some, if not all of them, I can check out from the library. I know that I have this tendency to get certain books that I really want to read, but I kind of just let them slip through the cracks throughout the year, and then it ends up being where, you know, a couple years have passed and I still haven't read them. So I decided to, at the beginning of the year this year, make myself a goal of picking out 10 books that I have been really wanting to get to and have just not been read. And I think one or two of them might be newer purchases that I just didn't get to before the end of 2020. While I was making this list, I kind of had a lot that I was going to, like, that I was trying to narrow down, and I almost made it a top 24 books that I wanted to read this year. But I know that I can be a mood reader, and I know that I can mood read with these books, but I just wanted to make sure that I have enough leeway and not take up too much of my TBRs each month for this specific video idea, I guess. This is part of the stack. Just imagine if I had all of them, they would probably be like out of the frame up top because I know one of them is just like huge. So yeah, anyway, I think what I'm going to do is actually start with the digital copies so that I can just pop the covers up on the screen at the beginning of the video. I know myself and I know how I get when I'm editing, so if I do these first, hopefully that means the rest of the editing process will go by a lot easier and a lot quicker. These are in no particular order, just how I thought about them as I was writing them down. So starting right off with probably the most intimidating read of them all is The Priory or the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. This is her standalone fantasy that she released, I think, in 2019. I picked it up because I had read Samantha Shannon's other series that she had been releasing or is still currently working on, the series that does start with the bone season, and I really enjoyed it. It is one of those slower type of reads that I felt like I almost needed to have the audiobook to really get myself into it, but once I got into it, I was very fascinated with her writing and the world that she came up with, and it was just a lot going on that I really enjoyed. So I decided to try out The Priory or the Orange Tree. I think I pre-ordered it. I've heard things on both ends of the spectrum. I've seen people who loved it, like absolutely loved it, but then I've also seen people like, what the heck is this? I have a little bit of experience with her writing, so hopefully I will enjoy it. Moving on to another slightly intimidating read, which is The City of Brass by S.A. Chocobordi. This is another adult fantasy, I believe. I know this is also another really polarizing book. I feel like people either love it or hate it, and I'm hoping that I'll be one of the people that loves it. So we'll see. Another one that I have on my list though is Cinder by Marissa Meyer, and honestly it will probably eventually end up being the entire series, or entire Lunar Chronicle series, but I think as of right now that I only own book 1 in the series. I'm pretty sure that I only own book 1. I feel like I bought a box set, but I'm pretty sure that I didn't, but I don't remember. If I have the entire box set, then I will be mentioning it whenever I get around to doing a series video, but as of right now I do want to just get through the first book. The next one that I'm going to talk about is actually Nevernight by J. Kristoff. I had a thing where I basically ordered all of the books. Why I did that when I hadn't even started the first one, don't even know that if I'm going to enjoy the series. I think I fell into the hype of picking this one up, and I've heard amazing things about it. And when I'm talking about these series, I am just talking about the first book. So the next one that I have is Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. This is another one of those series that was really big on BookTube a while ago. I picked them up because I was just like, I really want to read them. I want to know what the story is about, and I felt like it would be something that I would enjoy. But of course, being that it is in this video, I never did get around to it. It's just one of those books I felt like I've owned for long enough that it's time that I get to it. So the next one is Red Rising by Pierce Brown. I think I own the first 3 books, which was the original trilogy before it got continued on to the second part of the series. I'm pretty sure that I own all 3 of those in paperback. I was very interested in the story, mostly because it's sci-fi. Because if I'm being completely honest, I don't know too much about the actual storyline. And then the final one of those that I have to talk about, of the books that I own but are currently in storage, is A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. Another common theme with the last few that I talked about, I own the entire trilogy for this series. So now I'm going to move over into this stack here. And once again, these are in no particular order. Actually, I think the order that they're in is just by size. So when I took the thumbnail picture, everything wasn't sliding around or falling. Next, I have the more specifically an author that I would like to read. So I picked up the 5th season and the 100,000 Kingdoms by NK Jemisin. I have heard amazing things about this author. I picked up 2 different starters of series, and I figured as long as I get through one of these, I can see just by look that the 100,000 Kingdoms is definitely shorter than the 5th season, but I don't know which way to go. So if you have an opinion on which one you think I should read first, if one of them is easier to get into than the other, definitely let me know. I have heard from multiple people that they have had to really take their time with her work, so this might be one of those books where I pick up the audiobook from somewhere as well while I'm reading along, so that I can make sure that I am fully grasping all of the information. But I just want to read one of these books from her before the end of the year, and it doesn't matter either one. So like I mentioned, let me know down in the comments if you have an opinion on which one you think I should start first. The next one that I have is kind of a slight change from all of the other ones that I talked about, and this one is a middle grade, but that is The Girl Who Drank the Moon by Kelly Barnhill. Now, I have owned this book for years now, and I keep putting it on multiple TBRs, and for whatever reason it just does not get read. It is on my January TBR. I have an audiobook checked out from the library for this one, so I'm going to do whatever it takes to get this one done, because this is kind of ridiculous for how many TBRs that this has been put on that it hasn't been read. Next, I have A Song of Race and Ruin by Roseanne A. Brown. This was a 2020 debut release. I have seen kind of mixed things about this one, but I haven't really gone too much into the details about listening to people talk about this one, because I'm like, I don't really want to be spoiled. Second to last book that I'm going to be talking about is Kingdom of Souls by Reena Barron. I feel absolutely terrible that I have not read this one yet. I'm pretty sure that this came out in 2019. I was super excited because this was one of the first times that I think HarperCollins had reached out to me to work with them on anything. They had actually sent me an e-arc. Like, I didn't even ask for it, they just sent it to me, and I was really excited about that. And then they emailed me and offered to send me a promotional box for this book. I actually did start reading it because I have a couple tabs in here. You know what? I know what happened, because looking at it now, I was going to read it and annotate it, because I started highlighting and I was making little notes, and I was just like, I'm going to make this super involved. I think that's because I was watching Ashley from Bookish Realm, and I was just like, I want to have this to be able to look back on and kind of whenever I reread, kind of revisit my thoughts the first time reading it. And I was like trying to, as you can see, I like highlighted a couple sections and made a couple notes, and I was trying to do that, and I think that kind of intimidated me because I'm not one of those, like, when I read, I like to enjoy my read basically, and I felt like trying to do the notes and highlights and things like that kind of took me out of the story while I was trying to do it, and that kind of discouraged me from continuing on with it. And then I felt like I was reading it super slow, which I am going to try to get rid of that notion because I read at the pace I read, and I can't really control that. Between the note taking and then feeling like I was taking forever to read just a page, I ended up putting this down because I was just like, I don't have the time to sit down and read this right now. I need to read all of these other things. And then I just never got around to it. I have heard nothing but amazing things about this, and I know that the sequel is actually coming out this year, so I want to be caught up so that I am ready for the sequel. And the final thing that is on my TBR for this 12 books must read for 2021. I don't know why it's different every time I say it, but this is another one that is outside of my comfort zone. That is To Sleep in a Sea of Stars by Christopher Paolini. This is another adult sci-fi that is from Christopher Paolini. This is actually another one that I think I currently have on my January TBR. So I currently have an audiobook checked out from one of the libraries that I'm currently using. Don't judge me. Anyway, yeah, I currently have the audiobook checked out, so as soon as I am done with Raybearer, I think that I'm going to start making progress on this because I want to knock this out as early as possible. So those are all of the books that are currently on my 12 top reads of 2021. I'm going to try to read at least one of these each month. Like I just mentioned, I already have 2 of them on my TBR for January, so I might be able to get done with them faster, or I might just have a little bit more time to work on other things like the Priory of the Orange Tree, because that might have to be like a 2-month thing. I think that this could be a fun project. I will try to check in quarterly to let you guys know where I am. I am planning on doing like a quarterly check-in as far as goals for or throughout the year, so this will be something that I will make sure to notate to update you guys on when I do that quarterly check-in. And if I don't do it, comment somewhere and be like, hey, where's that update on these books? Where are you at in these books, so I can make sure I do it. That is everything that I have for now in this video. Don't forget to comment down below letting me know which of the NK Jemisin books you think I should put on my list for the year. Like I mentioned, it will be between the 5th season and the 100,000 Kingdoms. If I can, maybe I'll put a poll somewhere or link a poll somewhere so that you guys can vote on that, so it'd be an easier process if you don't want to comment. That's all I have for now. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you'd like to see more from me, make sure you subscribe. I will make sure to leave a list of all of the books down in the description box, and with links to, or with Amazon links attached to them, which I will receive a small commission off of if you decide that you want to purchase any of the books that I talked about and read along with me. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you again in the next one. Bye.